AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You, sir. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Hey.
It's hump day.
Hey, man.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Let's hump, everybody.
Hump day.
Let's hump, comma, everybody.
It's hump day.
Punctuation matters, kids.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Doesn't mean you're a grammar nerd.
Hump day.
Doesn't mean you're a grammar Nazi.
It's hump day.
I said the word Nazi.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Cancel me.
Hump day.
Don't do that.
It's hump day.
Just pointing out that grammar matters.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
LSU baseball got a win yesterday.
Hump day.
Talked some draft with Dalton Wasserman.
It's hump day.
Taylor Calandro no-showed us again.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We talked about Dylan Jones,
Hump day.
former Wisconsin running back,
It's hump day.
rising star,
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All-American.
Hump day.
Write it down.
It's hump day.
Predicting it right here.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All-American.
Hump day.
Unless he's not.
It's hump day.
In which case, we're not going to talk about this.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Save the clip, Muse.
Hump day.
Unless he's not an All-American,
It's hump day.
and then delete it.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Does Brian Kelly have a new job?
Hump day.
We'll talk about that
It's hump day.
in 15 minutes.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Joe Dumars
Hump day.
needs to hire a coach.
It's hump day.
Joe Dumars,
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
not a good executive.
Hump day.
The Pelicans,
It's hump day.
bad organization.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Joe Dumars,
Hump day.
likely to screw it up.
It's hump day.
The NFL draft
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
in 8 days.
Hump day.
Mel Kiper
It's hump day.
projecting the Saints to pick Bain,
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Ruben Bain,
Hump day.
Miami,
It's hump day.
and Casey Concepcion,
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Texas A&M.
Hump day.
Miami and Texas A&M
It's hump day.
played in the college football playoff.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Bain and Concepcion,
Hump day.
one-time rivals,
It's hump day.
potential future teammates,
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
according to Mel Kiper.
Hump day.
All right, let's get going. We got a lot to do here in our final hour. We're glad you're here. Otter will be here for Otter Locks at the end of the hour. As we've gotten to listen to Lane Kiffin since he's been hired, one of my observations to you has been that I think he's very thoughtful. Not in the sense that he's considerate of the feelings of others, thoughtful in that he actually thinks very much about what he says, how he communicates to and through the media. I believe very much, as I'm getting to know Lane Kiffin, that he is one person in real life. He is one person how he expresses himself on social media. He is one person maybe different on how he talks to the media and different press conferences and other availability. It's just been very educational learning all of this about Lane Kiffin. One of the things I've told you is that I think, and we've pointed out several examples of this, where Kiffin is asked a question, but whatever he wants you to know, and me, like you and me, to us to know, he is going to make sure, no matter what you asked, that he gets whatever his message is out there. An example I gave you last week is when he was asked specifically about the offensive line. This was last Tuesday after the scrimmage we didn't get to see. And he was asked a question very specifically about the offensive line. And like the first 7 seconds of the answer was about the offensive line. And the next like 45 seconds of the answer was all about how the defense is ahead of the offense. Remember he said like we would be a defensive football team. Has nothing to do with it was about position battles on the offensive line. And the answer had nothing to do with that. It was what he wanted to talk about. So I found it really interesting on Tuesday when Kiffin was meeting with reporters. He was asked early in the press conference about tight ends, and he gave, an answer about their numbers at tight end and how they recruit the position and big bodies and Trades being there and all the depth, and they want more depth and whatever. Well, later in the press conference, it was Michael Cobble who was asking the question, circled back to tight ends. I'm going to play the question only because I think it's important to illustrate what I'm saying. You need to hear the question before you hear the answer, okay? So this was the question from Michael Cobble this was the follow-up to the tight end question. This was the follow-up question that Michael Cobble asked Lane Kiffin of tight ends.
And then just back to the tight ends, because you can't keep them and grow them, do you go looking for skill sets that you can kind of plug and play?
Okay, that was the question. And, he talked about how, with transfers and stuff like that, guys could leave early. He's like, do you look for skill sets? Because you can't keep them and grow them. Do you look for skill sets? That was the question about tight end. The question was about tight end skill sets. Remember, Lane Kiffin's going to tell you whatever he wants you to know. This was his answer about tight end skill sets.
I challenge our guys to make sure we evaluate who they are really, really well. Who is the player as they're coming out of high school? What is their mindset? How competitive are they? Because what's going to happen is most likely it's not going to go like they want in the first year. And then get into your analytics of, okay, well, if they're going to, or you're going to pay them, and then they're going to leave after year one, then what did you really get out of them from a business sense versus the money going somewhere else? So I really try to find that in tight ends, but in all of our players, okay, who really are they in nowadays setup that it is, so that they are competitive enough that this is the place they want to be at, and are they going to stay through some adversity, which is what they need to play through too as a good player. So obviously character was always part of the evaluation, but I've moved it a lot higher now because of the ability to leave, where before you got the 17-year-old, well, he was really stuck with you for 4 years. So he had to eventually buy Henry, which was never going to play. Now they really don't have to. They just go somewhere else.
The question was about looking for a skill set with tight ends. That had nothing to do with skill sets for tight ends. That was all about how Lane Kiffin evaluates talent now, and his staff evaluates talent now. And you know who he was talking to? He wasn't answering Michael Cobble's question. He wasn't talking to you or me. In that answer, Lane Kiffin was talking to every player that could potentially want to come play for him at LSU to say, hey, I'm more interested. Yeah, I need good players, but I need dudes that want to come here and want to be a part of this. Because if I keep recruiting guys that are blue chips, you pay them to get here, and they leave after a year, what did you get? Nothing. So why even bother with high school recruiting? This is the point that I made over and over about Brian Kelly's approach, which was recruit and develop, whereas Kiffin was the quote-unquote portal king. The problem with Brian Kelly's recruit and develop strategy is guys don't stay. Look, this is the 2024 signing class, okay? The class that's going into their junior years, their third years in college. LSU signed 29 guys. Dom McKinley's still here. Trey'Dez Green is still here. Deshaun Spears is still here. That's great. The top 3 guys in the class are all still here. Kylan Billiot, gone. Jelani Watkins, gone. Caden Durham, still here. Weston Davis, still here. Cohen Eccles, gone. Tylen Singleton, still here. Michael Turner, still here. Juwan Johnson's gone. Kalaj Cobbins still hanging around. Devon Keys is here. Joel Rogers is gone. Colin Hurley's gone. Gabe Relaford's here but injured. C.J. Jackson. Kyrie Lee's gone. Ethan Callaway's gone. Bernard Causey's gone. P.J. Woodland's still here. Joe Cryer signed and never showed up. Sean Washington's still hanging around. Wallace Foster's gone. Ahmad Bro's gone. Ori Williams is gone. DeMyron Johnson's gone. Aaron Burrell's gone. More than half your class didn't even make it to their 3rd year on campus. So what Lane Kiffin is saying is what we heard. Do you remember this? All throughout the transfer portal cycle. If you follow the show, if you listen every day, or if you were listening at all or following any of our content during that transfer portal cycle, one of the things we said throughout that transfer portal cycle that I was relaying to you that I was heard, I don't know this firsthand because at this point in January, I hadn't had a conversation with Lane Kiffin or met Billy Glasscock. I hadn't been in the facility to see any of this. But I talked to a lot of players, and I talked to family members of players, and I talked to high school coaches and to agents and other staff members and administrators, a lot of people who had been in the building and met with Lane and met with Billy Glasscock. And the thing that all of them said pretty consistently was Billy Glasscock is so smart. They rave about Billy Glasscock. And the other thing is how impressive the evaluation process is by this staff. Because it's not just height, weight, 40 time. It's everything. It's evaluation and valuation. How much of your cap do you want to put in that position? And of that number, how much do you commit to top tier players? Kiffin talked about this pretty candidly the other day about receivers. They didn't go after they didn't want to be, he said, top heavy at receiver. I mean, you're a turned ankle away. You go spend $3.5 million on Cam Coleman. Awesome. Turns his ankle, then what? What do you have left? So they went and got 10 guys and said, let's go get 10 that we like, their skill sets that have been productive college players we think fit our scheme. And of those 10, hopefully 4 to 6 emerge and can be really impactful guys. That's an evaluation. How do they fit what you want to do? Will they stay? What does it cost? Are they good locker room guys, good team guys? I'm going to tell you one thing that I've heard from staff members right now, but I'll stay on the receiver group. One thing, I don't mind sharing this with you. They said this year's receiver group is not nearly as talented as a year ago. When you had Aaron Anderson and Berrien Brown and Nick Anderson and Xavier Thomas. I mean, you had dudes in that receiver group a year ago. Now, you weren't productive in your pass game, but what was also relayed is you didn't necessarily have great team guys, and this group are higher, like, character team guys. Maybe not the 4-3 for the Berrien Brown burner, right? And look, maybe a lot of that was frustration a year ago because a lot of those guys had a lot riding on last season. It went very poorly. But it said this group of receivers, not as talented as that one, but man, their buy-in, their motivation, their work ethic, everything for these guys, it's better than it was a year ago in that group. That's evaluation. It's part of what they want. Good locker room guys, good buy-in, good fit for their scheme, all that sort of stuff. Now, do you want the fives? Do you want Trey'Dez Green? Of course you do. But it's a balance in how they evaluate. And I don't think Lane Kiffin, when he was asked about the skill set for tight ends, and he goes on a 60-second, explanation of how they evaluate talent, having nothing to do with the skill set of the tight ends, which was the question that was asked. I think he's answering the question that way with a very specific intent, and it's not for you or for me. He's talking to Easton Royal. He's talking to Albert Simeon. He's talking to the best players in the country that have decisions to make about where they want to go to college. And what he's saying is, I don't want to pay you a bunch of money to come here for a year, it not go well for you for 1 year, and then you leave. So I want dudes that are bought in. You can't control that. You have no control over that. The rules say they can leave. So you better make sure that you're asking the right questions on the front end to minimize that exodus on the back end so you can benefit from all the effort and resource you're putting into recruiting those guys coming out of high school. Fascinating, man. It's been really fascinating watching and listening to Lane Kiffin and learning about him and how he's building his programs. It's very different from what was here. I'm not saying good, bad, right, wrong, just different. Time will tell if it's good, bad, right, wrong. The results will tell you that. But it's different. Some would say it's just different. I didn't mean to do that. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They're the best show. 9 locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. LMFJ.com. All over Louisiana. 2 in Baton Rouge. New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, and online at LMFJ.com. Gents, if you're thinking of the pop of the question, Lee Michaels, they've been helping Louisianians get engaged for 4 decades. So easy. Check them out online or just walk into the store. They specialize in the Lee Michaels experience. Amazing selection. If they don't have what you want, they'll find it. They can't find it, they'll make it. They take refunds. They want her to be thrilled and you to be the hero. So thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Speaking of the way things were, Brian Kelly might very well have a new job. You'll hear from the former LSU coach next on AFR.
After Further Review.
81 degrees in Baton Rouge. We're getting up to 90 this week. 9-0. We're getting up to 90. Have you had your preseason AC tune-up yet? If not, I want you to get out your phone right now, and I want you to call River City's 1 Hour Air. You've been putting it off. Put it off no longer. Call them right now. Here's the number. Get your phone out, or ask Siri to call it for you. 752-0001. 752-0001. 752-0001. Just call them right. And I promise you this much. When you call, it's 5:18 on a Wednesday afternoon. Call right now. You will talk to a living, breathing human being right now. It's not going to be an automated call center. You're not talking to AI. You're going to talk to a human being that will schedule your service right now. 752-0001. 752-0001. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. You see them all over town because they're the best. It's River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Tiger fans want the ultimate LSU game day experience? The Hester Sports Foundation and Off the Bench are raffling off a Tiger game day full experience for LSU versus Louisiana Tech on Saturday, September 12th. One winner gets 4 LSU game tickets, pregame field passes, a game day facilities tour, and an autographed LSU number 18 Jacob Hester jerseys. Entries are just $20 and there's no limit. So the more you enter, the better your chance to win. Enter now through PayPal at paypal.com/Hester Foundation, Venmo at Hester Sports Foundation, or Cash App $Hester Foundation. Draw the winner live on Off the Bench May 1st.
Well, it looks like Brian Kelly may have found a new job. It is not coaching. It looks like Brian Kelly could very well be on his way to doing a media job. If you missed this, Brian Kelly popped up on CBS Sports and the CBS Sports Network. This was just a short clip of Brian Kelly talking about Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love here in advance of the draft.
I'm hard-pressed to find a downside with Jeremiah Love. So the superlatives are exactly right. But this is about, in the NFL, the value of a running back being taken in the top 5. And if you ask Mike Denbrock, his offensive coordinator, who had Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors, 2 top 5 picks, he believes this is the best player he's ever had. So I think that puts it in perspective in terms of the value that he brings to any NFL roster. Narrative.
So I thought Brian Kelly did well, and I don't think that's any surprise. BK was generally outstanding with the media. You've heard me talk about that. I think everybody who covered him would probably say the same. There are the memed moments where he banged the table in Vegas after the USC loss. There was the interaction with Cobble where he yelled at him for being spoiled. And I think my opinion of Brian Kelly throughout his time at LSU, it was very interesting covering him, not having known Brian Kelly before he became the coach, just having like a surface level from a distance awareness of him, sort of the angry, red-faced, yelling guy that you'd see on the sideline. My experience getting to know Brian Kelly was a 180 of that. He was on a professional level, right, covering his program. He was outstanding to work with. He was welcoming. He was generous with his time. He was respectful of the job we had to do. He gave us amazing access. So all that to say, I don't think there's any surprise that Kelly would transition into media and do quite well doing it. I mean, he's got a background in political campaigns, public relations, all that sort of stuff. So it's something that I think would be very natural for him that to say. And sometimes, I tell you this often, Mike D used to use the lines they're not going to write the story for you, but if you're listening, they'll tell you. And throughout the course of this season, we might have dropped a few breadcrumbs that this was possible for BK. Now, to be very clear, I'm not operating here with revisionist history. I did not think that Brian Kelly was going to be fired this year in any way. Every conversation I had with administrators and boosters, they were adamant they were not paying the buyout. And clearly, the avalanche came after Texas A&M. The governor intervened in all the stuff that we saw after the Woodward decision and everything, and they made the decision. Gordon was here. It got to a point where I think Gordon said it best. It got to the point, could you afford not to fire? But again, all that to say, hand in air, I said 8-4 would be a cataclysmic failure, but even with that, they would not fire Brian Kelly. They fired Brian Kelly, okay? So I'm not going back and saying anything different. I did not think they were going to fire Brian Kelly based on every conversation that I had. They still fired Brian Kelly. One of the conversations we had, though, after the Vanderbilt loss, and I went and pulled this audio just sort of as an illustration. I remember after LSU lost to Vandy, and if you remember this, I was on that trip. It was the Our Lady of the Lake trip. We did the show in Nashville. It was also the Board of Supervisors trip. So the members of the LSU Board of Supervisors, they make one road trip a year. They do a board dinner, and they go and they wear their purple board jackets on the field before the game and all that sort of stuff. Well, that was the board trip it was the Vanderbilt game this year in Nashville. And even after LSU lost that game to Nashville, what was told me was there was no appetite to pay a $54 million buyout. That was after that loss to Vanderbilt. Well, we know what happened. They went on a losing streak. They got blown out by Texas A&M, and then Brian Kelly was fired. Anyway, the Monday after that Vanderbilt loss, and people started to talk about firing, we brought up his contract and mitigation. And I said this, there is mitigation, so that number would be offset if he got another job. By the way, that number would be offset if he got a media job as well. Same day, I told you that while I did not think that he would be fired, I thought there was a way that LSU and BK could part after the season. This is what I said. So, you have a disappointing year, you come up short, fans are dogpiling on you, pressure's ratcheting up. you never wanted this style anyway. You like to recruit and develop. Do you say at this point, I'm good? Go do TV like Nick's doing. Sometimes, to steal a line from Mike D, you'll tell the story without telling you. Throughout the course of this season, which is one of the interesting things that LSU fired Brian Kelly and went the way they did. And it's worked out because it went the way that it did, and you got Lane Kiffin and all that sort of stuff. But one of the interesting things about, as I think back to this conversation, is, and at this point, it's what it is. I mean, Brian Kelly's gone, Lane Kiffin's here. We could have these conversations. But there was chatter throughout the agent world this season, this past football season, about Brian Kelly, his agent, sort of gauging interest in media jobs. Now, I want to be very clear. Brian Kelly did not tell me that. Brian Kelly's agent did not tell me that. So I'm not telling you I have firsthand knowledge of this. What I'm telling you is that people deeply rooted in that industry that I trust had started saying, man, we're hearing this conversation. And I think sometimes that happens, not necessarily that Brian Kelly was looking to leave LSU, like looking for the escape hatch, but I think a good agent is always looking for options and opportunities for their client. And I think it was very natural to assume Brian Kelly was all in last year on that team. Remember, Brian Kelly paid $1 million of his own money to fund the collective last year. Say whatever you want. That man was in last year. Put up $1 million of his own money. And you could say whatever you want about, well, he's rich. It don't matter. $1 million, $1 million. That dude put up $1 million of his own money to fund that roster last year, to buy players. He was in. It didn't go well. All that to say, like, I think this was probably an inevitable end, even if it wasn't after last season. Like, even if LSU didn't fire Kelly and he came back for another year, I don't think he was going to finish it. Even if he had the option, I don't think he was going to finish his contract. This is, by the way, just my opinion. I'm not reporting anything. I'm just giving you my opinion. I think this is the path that he was going to go, TV. So for LSU, if in fact Kelly has signed a contract with CBS Sports, which I don't know that that's confirmed yet, he popped up on CBS Sports. He did very well. And I think be it CBS or ESPN or Fox or wherever, I think a network would be smart to hire him because he'd be very good on TV. He's got a ton of experience. That money, whatever he is making in his TV job, will offset the $50 million buyout that LSU owes him. Now, it's certainly not going to be what he would have gotten had he gone and coached at a major college program somewhere if that opportunity ever presented itself, but it is something that will offset Brian Kelly's buyout should he, in fact, be working as a TV analyst this year in college football. So something to follow there. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. You get Evermore at Rouse's. You get so many amazing products at Rouse's. And when you go shop at Rouse's, I always encourage you to look for the Rouse's branded products. That red R with the circle. Because Rouse's, such a cool thing a couple years ago, they had a media day where they invited all the media that they have relationships with to come and learn more about Rouse's, and every department head spoke, and it was really cool. And one of the things that Donnie Rouse talked about was the great lengths that they go to when they have Rouse's branded products to use Louisiana products, Louisiana ingredients, support Louisiana companies. So I always encourage you, man, go to Rouse's and buy Rouse's branded products as well. You'll save money and you're supporting great Louisiana businesses. It's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the Saints. It got Louisiana crawfish live and boiled. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Rouse's. This feels like home. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're trucking along. Otter will be here in about 15 minutes from right now. Hump Day shows are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. If you miss anything, remember you can always email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. You can text our station line as well at 499-1045, 225-499-1045. We'll now got a quick break and continue here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness.
After Further Review.
I had lunch today at Watermark Baton Rouge. Milford's on 3rd. Tell you about it all the time. Watermark downtown Baton Rouge, one of Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. It's on the corner of Convention and 3rd, and there's 2 dining options at Watermark Baton Rouge. There's the Gregory, which we talk about all the time. Amazing, gorgeous, upscale dining experience right there in the lobby. The lobby bar fixed. They've got that charcoal oven indoor. It's a charcoal oven indoors. I mean, there's amazing aromas just waft through the lobby. It's awesome. But also, if you can go through the lobby or from 3rd Street to Milford's on 3rd. They say it's a New York-style deli with a Louisiana flair. Milford's on 3rd. It's a deli sandwich. I had the Milford. Incredible hot pastrami sandwich. Casual. They have grab-and-go options as well. Check them out. It's at Watermark, Baton Rouge.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All right, we got our winner. What? Oh, sorry, I thought you said something.
I was like, hey, all right. We got a name this time?
Yes.
Hey-oh.
Shout out to we have a drum roll over there. Give me a drum roll. See who we got. The winner is.
I didn't have it pulled up. This is a great reference too. It's just 2 birds, 1 stone.
Today's winner is Owen Thorgson. Not a babe. Owen Thorgson is our winner today. And yesterday's winner was Joe Gonzalez.
Man, it wasn't Jerry?
No.
Dang.
Knew it started with a J, though.
Yeah. That could have been a G, but I'm going to go with J. Jerry with a J.
Jerry with a J. Jerry with a J. So Joe Gonzalez yesterday. Owen Thorgson is our winner today. Shout out to our friends over at Mockler Beverage, Bud Light. They hooked us up with some prize packs this week, leading up to LSU's return to the box. Thank goodness, man. After a couple of weekends away at Tennessee and Ole Miss, finally get back to the friendly confines of Alec Box Stadium and a big weekend with the Aggies coming in. But our friends over at Mockler Beverage and Bud Light gave us 5 cases of the LSU aluminum bottles, an LSU Bud Light jersey to give away each day this week. Put that up, Paul, if you can. Some national championship koozies. It's the purple, gold, and cold giveaway. So they gave us 5 prize packs to give away 1 a day. So we're 3 days in. We'll do 2 more, so obviously Thursday and Friday. And if you can only enter once, but if you entered earlier in the week, you're still in. So no worries. You don't need to keep doing it. You can only enter once. So we'll keep hitting the randomizer. We'll pick 2 more winners, 1 Thursday and 1 Friday. If you want to enter, all you have to do is text Drink Easy to our station text line. It's 225-499-1045, 499-1045. A lot of you keep texting my text line. I know this is confusing. I know. I've taken money out of my own wallet for years and paid for a text line. Our radio station now has a text line that we can all use, all the shows. So what I'm giving you now is the radio station text line that you can still use mine, but if you want to enter this giveaway, you have to text the radio station text line, which is 225-499-1045. So I'd highly recommend that you text that. Save it in your phone. And if you text LSN, as in LouisianaSports.net, that's how we refer to it around here, LSN. If you text LSN to that number, you can opt in for updates. So whenever we have breaking news, boom, we'll text you breaking news updates as well. 225-499-1045, 499-1045. All right, let's after further review. So the LSU Tigers do return home to take on the Aggies this weekend. Jay Johnson pitching last night against Northwestern State was very good. They gave up 5 hits. They only walked 2. They did not hit a batter. It was very nice to see them actually have some success throwing the ball over the plate. And Jay was asked if pitching can be contagious like hitting. What a question.
I don't think there should be, because it's you have the ball. You are in control of your performance. Like, there's no what somebody did before. Now, can we help them out by, like I said, Zach, Grant, 2 different looks? Yes. and we try to do that. But like, you're in control of your performance. Kind of that momentum in baseball is the next day's starting pitcher. Well, momentum in the game is the next guy that toes the rubber for the mound, and that's what they're capable of, and they need to do that more often.
Yeah. I'm trying to be rude, but who asked that question? Who asked that question? Anyway, was that a reporter? Or was that like the post game interview? If it was a post game interview, then I get it.
No, that was post game press conference. Yeah, it was a reporter.
It's pitching. No,
It'd be great if it was.
That'd be awesome.
It'd be great if it was, man.
Yeah, but no. Our conversation yesterday with Todd Walker was so spot on, and I'm going to oversimplify it, but Todd effectively said, look, in a different era of baseball, if you're struggling with walking guys, then you throw fastballs for strikes, and you make them hit it because they're going to get themselves out. This team, and we don't have the benefit of looking at all of the splits. I wish I did, but like, I don't have the benefit of looking at data to show you how many times LSU has thrown a fastball in a 2-2 count or a 3-1 count, or if they've gone slider or changeup. Like, I don't have that data. I wish they have it. I wish I could, because it would illustrate the point. Because if you're in a 3-ball count, what's the highest probability pitch that you're going to throw for a strike? It's a fastball. Generally, it's a straight pitch. Just zoom it in there, Henry. Zoom it. I mean, it's just, there are far less variables. Grip, rotation, spin. Like, locating the fastball, in theory, should be the easiest pitch. But LSU doesn't throw a lot of, there's been too many times in 3-ball counts they're not throwing fastballs. So I could look at Nate Yeske and say, man, why are you not calling fastballs? Todd Walker said in those situations, shake him off. If you're the pitcher, shake him off. Disrupt the rhythm a little bit. Another thing that I would suggest is maybe, and again, we don't necessarily get a chance to talk to Yeske a bunch, but maybe one of the reasons they're not throwing a bunch of fastballs is they don't want the other team to hit it because the defense behind the pitcher ain't very good. Like, do you really want a ball coming off the bat at 103 hit at your second baseman right now? I don't. Do you want to know why they keep moving Stephen Milam all over? Now, I'm not talking about shifting. Shifting happens. But have you noticed how many times Stephen Milam has been playing in shallow right? Like, he's playing second base. Like, I'm not just talking about like, hey, let's shift. Let's move the second baseman into shallow right, Milam up the middle, the third baseman moves to the shortstop spot. Like, Milam is over at second base, across the infield. You want to know why? They're trying to put Milam in the best position to field the ball because they don't think their guy at second can field it and make the play. What guy at second? Any of them. So the reason I don't necessarily have the most optimistic point of view or outlook that this team is going to figure it out or get hot is because some of this stuff I don't think you fix. I don't think all of a sudden they're just going to become a better defensive team or they're just going to start throwing more strikes. Hey, can they hit better? Yeah. I mean, I think you have good offensive players in this team that can. Like, Stephen Milam has been a 320 hitter in the SEC. He's hitting 250 right now. Like, is he capable of being much better? Yes. Derek Curiel started slow. He's over 300 now. Like, there's guys on this team that are capable of doing much more offensively. But if they don't trust the defense behind the pitchers, I don't know that they trust the pitchers just to groove fastballs and hit it because I don't think they trust the defense is going to make plays. So I'm not trying to give you this doomsday scenario. And they're 6-9 in the conference, and there's plenty of opportunity with 15 games left to get the 13 league wins and make a regional. But in my opinion, the only way that this is going to happen, two things. Number one, Evans and Schmidt need to be dominant. Like we talk about 2024, the reason that turned around was you had Holman and Jump. You had two dudes at the front of your rotation that were capable of winning any weekend for you, or winning a regional or winning a super. Evans and Schmidt at times have been awesome, and at times they've been not awesome. You need them to be awesome, and you need to get Cooper Moore back. That's one. And two, you got to hit the baseball. Because I don't think the defense is going to be better. And if the defense isn't better, then they're not going to groove fastballs to let them hit it because you don't trust your defense to get them out. All right, it's after further review. Jimmy will be here for Out of Locks. We come back to wrap it up next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon. Get it done. Gordon McKernan, Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done. And also, right now, remember, the Gordon's Grads promotion is going on. I love telling you about this. You can still enter for the rest of the month of April. Gordon is giving away laptops to graduating high school seniors. Laptops, MacBooks. If you want to see how you can enter, you can go to gordonsgrads.com, gordonsgrads.com, or any of Gordon's social medias. They've got all the, at Get Gordon, they've got all the deets on how you can enter, pinned on all the social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the stuff there. You can go do it. So you can want all the info, you can get it there. Enter if you're a graduating Louisiana high school senior going to a 2 or 4 year college or trade school. Gordon's giving you an opportunity to win a free laptop or MacBook. So go to gordonsgrads.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Lowest prices, never any contracts. And remember, Goodwood is part of that 3-pronged monster right there on Drusilla in Baton Rouge. Goodwood is the men's clinic, a unique physique. That's the GLP-1, semaglutide, tirzepatide. And then they've got unique aesthetics and wellness, which is your aesthetics clinic, your Botox, your laser hair removal, hydrofacials, body contouring, all of it. It's all in one place right there on Drusilla. Yourgoodwood.com. Yourgoodwood.com. All right, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
You Otter, what up? You Otter, what up?
He dropped. Let me get him back.
Okay. He dropped just like his record last night. He dropped just like his record last night. He dropped just like his record last night. There. Rough night. Let's get it all back tonight. You know what that means? When you lose, you just double up all your bets the next night to get it all back. That's exactly what you do. Otter's here. Otter, what up?
Kick me when I'm down, baby. That's all right.
Hey, we've had plenty of wins. I can take my shots when we're down because I praise when we're up.
That's all right. But a couple of losers Monday and Tuesday. Let's get one of those Thursday nights like last night, a little 4-0 with a couple of dogs. Let's go to the NBA. We're going to take both home teams tonight. 76ers -1.5. No Embiid here, but man, this Magic team has been disappointing. We picked them a couple of times. They went on a streak, and boy, they've just been puzzling. Their roster should be better. This is not the time to fix it. Give us the Sixers -1.5. The tanking talk is over. Well, not so much when you talk about the Golden State Warriors. They don't see where it's really in their best interest to get into the playoffs. They've always had one eye with life after Steph. I don't look for the best effort. Draymond Green he should retire. He is so done. Clippers -5.5. We think that one could get really ugly late tonight. Pittsburgh and Washington in Major League Baseball win over 8.5. Now this line has moved to 9.5. It would. You don't know, but Both of these games are going over. Pittsburgh is in
1 minute
the
remaining.
top 10 in every hitting category there is. That lineup is just a big, big deal. They came up just short in a comeback effort last night to close out that parlay for us. And then speaking of the other half of that parlay, going back to the well tonight, Atlanta in a close one last night pulled it out. Tonight they'll pour it on. Rarely do we lay 1.5 runs at home. We'll do it against Paddock, who's had a rough go of it for the Miami Marlins.
All right, so 4 plays, 2 in the association, 2 in Major League Baseball. 76ers and the Clippers against the number. Pirates Nationals over, which, by the way, Otter, right now is 8.5, still at DraftKings. And then Braves laying on the run line tonight, 1.5. Where are you tomorrow?
The original walk-ons on Burbank, just off of Nicholson.
Let's go. All right, take care of Handy tomorrow.
Good luck.
We'll see you. All right, that's Jimmy Ott. It's After Further Review. Thanks, as always, for hanging out. You miss anything, AFR On Demand. Muse, Pauly, thanks. Y'all have an awesome night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
Trust isn't given, it's earned. Winning championships, that's hard. Defending one, that's even harder. LSU baseball knows what it takes. It's discipline, teamwork, and trust. FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics, providing Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From injury prevention to recovery, strength to performance, the Lake helps keep Tigers ready to compete every game, every series, every postseason run. And that same level of championship care is here for you too. Whether it's sports medicine, heart care, pediatrics, or helping you get back to your everyday routine, Our Lady of the Lake cares for everyday champions across Louisiana. So trust the team that cares for the team you love. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar. Learn more at olrmc.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar.